Welcome to this Droptop trial setup video. In this video, we're going to help you set up your detailing business on Droptop. If you're an oil change business, refer to the other video we have and then come back to this video for the last step on how to set up scheduling if you're interested in that. So for detailers, we're going to walk you through 4 key steps. Number 1, we're going to set up your operation settings. Number 2, we're going to set your services. Number 3, we're going to set up your packages. And lastly, we're going to set up scheduling. Before we jump into step 1, first I want to get you a bit familiar with what the software looks like and what's going on. So here you'll see you're first going to end up on the dashboard. Everything's going to be zeroed out because it's a blank brand new account. On the left hand side, you'll see all the different pages you have access to. To open and close the left navigation menu, use the little button at the bottom left hand corner. And lastly, you likely only have one shop in your current account, but in the top right hand corner is where you're going to select your different operations. So if you see a flashing sign in the middle of the screen saying select an operation, you're going to go to the top right hand corner and choose your operation. These can be physical shops or mobile operations. So you can have multiple locations and hop between each of them to make changes to each of those stores. So I'm going to work on this location. Okay, next let's start in step 1 by configuring our operation settings. To do that, we're going to go over to the left navigation and we're going to click to the Operations tab. From the Operations tab, you'll see all your different operations like I mentioned earlier, or you might just see one. To kick things off, we're going to go to the operation you want to work on and we're going to click on Operation Settings. Inside of Operation Settings, there's a whole bunch of information about your operation. So the first thing to do is go through this list and make sure everything's accurate and make any updates that you need to. So we can enter things like your operation name, your address, country, region, city, and so on. Phone number, email. If you want to make a change to any of these things, you simply click Edit, you modify, and then make sure to hit Save afterwards. If we keep scrolling down, this is a really important step. Make sure your operation type is accurate. So are you a mobile business or a physical establishment? You can also add your website. Make sure to set your distance measurement. This is applicable to different businesses, but kilometers versus miles, quarts versus liters. You can set number of bays if you're a physical location. If you're mobile, you can leave it to 0. Your currency and your taxation. Keep in mind, for mobile businesses, if you need to tax customers based on their location, there's a further configuration later on where you can actually set that. For now, what I'd recommend is set your tax value for wherever you're located, and then we'll talk more about that later on. There's a whole bunch more stuff in here. I'm not going to go through all of it in detail, but scroll through it and make sure everything is accurate. One other really important thing is to upload your logo. So make sure you put your logo there. You can decide if you want to leverage Carfax or not. And there's a few more things here like connecting to QuickBooks and using our payment processor. So if you want to use our integrated Droptop payment processor, just let us know and we can activate that for you. And lastly, there's some stuff on scheduling. So we're going to get to that more later on, but just know it's located in here as well. Okay, so once you've set all those details, we're going to jump to step 2. On step 2, we're simply going to tell the system which services we offer. So to do that, we're going to go back to the operations page. From here, you'll see a whole bunch of tabs at the top on different things that we can modify, but we're going to go to the services page. And on the services page, we're simply telling the system which services we offer. We're not talking about prices or promotions or anything else here. We're simply loading which services we are going to offer, and we'll talk about pricing next. So here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of already configured custom detailing services that are loaded for you. If you like these, you can leave them and use them. If you don't want to use them, you can get rid of them and make new ones. So to add a new service, I'm going to click Add New Service. The first thing you can do is you can search for an existing service. Most of these services are more maintenance type services, so they likely won't be applicable to detailing. So if I search something like chip repair, you'll see nothing comes up, which is totally fine. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to click Custom Service, and I'm going to add a custom service for, let's call it window chip repair. I'm going to click Save, and you'll see now I have another custom service for window chip repair. If you don't want that service, you hit the X, and it's gone. So very simple, you're going to go through this list, you're going to add any services that aren't there, remove any services that you don't offer, and when you're finished, you should have a list of all the services you offer. Next, in step 3, we're going to learn how to configure your packages. So to do that, we're going to go to the Packages tab up here. And again, we're still in Operations. So if you ever get lost, you're confused, come back to Operations, and all your operation type settings stuff is all in here. And we're going to go to the Packages page. Now here, when you first open your detailing account, you're going to see a whole bunch of pre-configured packages. These are just to help you out. If you don't like these packages, you can delete them. You can copy them if you want and make modifications. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do here. So the first thing I'm going to do before we even look at any of the existing packages is I'm going to create a new package. So to do that, we're going to create new package by hitting this button. The first thing you're going to do is set the name of your package. The name is super important. This is what's going to show up on your customer's invoice, as well as what's going to show up in the scheduling app. So when your customer goes to pick what they want, they're going to read, of course, the package name. So I'm going to make a new package, and I'll just call it my detailing service. Now you can add a description for what's going to be completed, of course, inside of that package. And then next, we're going to choose the services that are being completed inside of that package. So these are the services that we created a second ago. So inside my detailing service, I'm going to go to my custom services. I'm going to say continue. And I'm going to say in this package, I am going to do the exterior detailing as well as interior detailing. And I'm not going to do paint correction or pet hair removal or anything else. And again, remember, these services you set up ahead of time. If you don't like these, you can modify your own and have your own service list. Next, I'm going to set my price. So I'll put my price to $100. There is additional configurations you can set here. I can add casual items. I could add labor fees or discounts or eco fees. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do if you need to get more complicated with your pricing. So don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you with more complicated pricing on your packages. But for now, there's my base of $100 on this package. Next, I'm going to skip past more of this oil recommendation stuff and go to the scheduler options. So here now, you can configure this package to show up for just yourself as like an internal package to sell to customers, or you can schedule it or set it up to show up on your front end scheduler that your customers will use when they schedule appointments with you. So it's very simple. If you want the package to be available for customers to schedule by themselves, you set this to yes, and then you decide how long it's going to take you to do this service at their house. And what that does is when they go to schedule the appointment, it'll make sure that there is a 2-hour block window and it will book them for the 2-hour window or 30 minutes or whatever you set it to. So this one I'm going to put to no for now, and I'm going to hit save. Once you hit save, you'll see that package shows up. So there's my detailing service package for $100. If I wanted to edit that package, I can click it. You'll see it opens up. Here's all the details within. And if I wanted to change it, I'd simply click edit. And I can modify everything within the package. The only thing I cannot edit is the name of the package. So if you want to edit anything inside the package, you can go ahead and do so, but the name has to be unique. So if I wanted to change the name of this, I'll show you how that would be done. I'm going to hit save again. So there's my package. If I wanted to change that, I could click it. And the bottom right, I'm going to say copy. And I can now create a new package. I'm copying the existing package. So I'll call this maybe just premium detailing package, and hit continue. And you'll see there's my new package now with the new name. So, and again, I recommend be very descriptive in your packages. Don't do short forms like that. Okay, so that's how you create packages. Now, if you don't want a package, just like I did there, you can delete them as well. So I can click on this package or any of the pre-configured ones. I can scroll down and I can delete it. I can also share it across multiple shops or mobile operations if you have more than one. But for now, I'm just going to delete that one. And just as an example, I'll go into one of these other ones. So here's an express care detailing service. If I click into it, you'll see here's a whole bunch of descriptions I've added on what we provide with that service. You'll see that there is an exterior detailing and an interior detailing being done at the service level. And you'll see this one here, if I click edit, I have it as a 1-hour service, and it will show up on my scheduler at the front end for customers to see. So that's the basics with configuring packages. If you have any questions about setting up the pricing, don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you with it. Okay, finally on step 4, we're going to set up the scheduling app. So to do that, we're going to go up to the scheduler tab. In the scheduler tab, this is what it will look like when you first enter it. What you basically need to do is create a booking slot. So we're going to click add new booking slot. And I'll just call this booking slot 1. Now, most mobile businesses are likely going to have just one booking slot, but if you have a physical store and you have multiple bays, you could actually have bay 1, bay 2, bay 3, and have multiple booking slots in that way. For the mobile use case though, likely just one booking slot. Inside of that now we get to set the availability of your booking slot. So you can here set when you want to work. So I'll set this up, let's say we're going to work 9 to 5 p.m. And you can do that across each of these days. Now, even on the Sundays and the Saturdays, you can modify your time or leave it as none. If you leave it as none, then no one can book you on those days. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these out. Okay, so I've set my availability. Now the next thing you can do is you can set availability exception. So if you have a vacation day or you're off for a week or whatever it may be, you can set up those exceptions. So to do that, you're going to hit plus exception. You're then going to click on start date. So let's say next week, Tuesday we'll book it for the whole day. So let's say Tuesday from 9 until, that was the 15th. Let's say I'm off until the Wednesday at, let's make it late, 11 p.m. And we won't repeat it, it's just one time. You could make it repeat weekly or monthly, and then hit save, of course, and there's your exception. So now there's your regular calendar availability, and here are your exceptions. So what this will basically do is create a calendar that's going to let your customers book based on your availability. It will account for your general availability as well as your exceptions. Okay, so now that we've set up our packages and we've configured our availability for the scheduler app, let's look at how you actually link customers to your scheduler. So to see that link, you're going to go back to the operations page. You're going to go back to operations settings. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is what we mentioned earlier. So here's your Droptop scheduling section, and here is your app URL. This is the URL that customers are going to go to book an appointment at your specific shop or your specific mobile business. So we're going to copy that link, and you'll see here when I copy the link, if I go to another page and enter it, I would end up on the booking page. So here now is my booking page where a customer can go ahead and schedule an appointment with me. Now what you're going to need to do is go to your own website. From your own website, you're going to want to add a button. So this is our droptop.io homepage. We have a book appointment button. Now this book appointment button simply links to that URL I just showed you a second ago. So in whatever website tool you use, you simply add that URL to this button, and you'll see you're going to go from your website to clicking the book appointment button, and it's going to fire you into the app where a customer can now go ahead and book their appointment with you. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is a couple other configurations you can make on the scheduler. So number one, you can change the color of all the links in your app. So of course you want your color to match your brand. So simply click on main app color, and you can pick whatever color palette you want. And as you change that color, whatever color you pick, it's going to change all of the buttons and call to actions in this flow. So right now it's blue, but if I change it to green, the start would be green, this would be green, everything else across the app would be green. So pick whatever color matches your business the best. And the second thing is you can add your terms and conditions. So you can add any additional terms and conditions into here, hit edit, and then save, and that will translate through. So that's all there is to it to get set up. At this point, customers can book appointments on your scheduling app. You can use the application to create orders as well. And yes, there's a whole bunch more information and stuff you can do in the application, but you're off to the right start and you have everything you need to start taking orders. For more information, definitely go through our YouTube channel. There's a few other videos that walk you through how to create an order, There's a few other videos on inventory, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out.